Everyone was buzzing with excitement as Marissa's wedding rehearsal dinner began. My daughter looked radiant, standing beside her fiancé, Kevin, surrounded by family and friends. I felt proud watching them, soaking in the warm wishes being showered on the couple. For a moment, it felt perfect. But then Marissa tapped her glass for attention. The chatter died down instantly. Ron and I exchanged puzzled looks, unsure what she was about to say. She stood tall, her champagne glass raised high. "I want to say something important," she began, her gaze locking on me. "Elise, you might call yourself my stepmother, but to me, you're just someone I don't want in my life." The room froze. A ripple of gasps swept through the guests. Ron's face went pale, and my heart sank, as if her words had knocked the wind out of me. "Marissa, what are you talking about?" Ron asked, his voice trembling. "Don't play dumb, Dad," she shot back with a bitter smile. "You know Elise has been trying to force her way into our family since the beginning. Well, I'm done pretending. She's not my mom, and she never will be." Her words cut deeper than I could bear. I searched her face for the girl I once loved and nurtured, but all I saw was resentment. "Marissa, please, let's not do this here," I whispered, my voice shaking. "Why not?" she snapped. "This is my night, and I'll say whatever I want." Ron's jaw tightened, his fists clenched at his sides. "That's enough," he said sharply. "We're leaving." But Marissa only smirked, turning away as if she'd already won. The weight of countless eyes fell on me as Ron and I walked out of the hall. Whispers followed us like shadows, questions hanging in the air. What had Elise done to make her own stepdaughter despise her so much? Tears burned my eyes. What was supposed to be a joyful evening now felt like the breaking point of something I had dreaded for years. In the car, Ron gripped the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. His face was lined with fury and sorrow. "I don't understand what's wrong with her," he muttered, "but I swear, Elise, I won't let her keep hurting you." I just nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. My mind raced back to when it all began, back when Clara, Marissa's mother, had planted the first seeds of bitterness. "Don't worry, sweetheart," Clara used to whisper, brushing Marissa's hair from her face. "No one can ever take your real mom's place." Even then, her words unsettled me. I tried to push past it, tried to show Marissa kindness and patience. "I'm not here to take anyone's place," I once told her gently. "I just want us to be friends." But her eyes were cold. The barrier was already there, built brick by brick with Clara's poisonous influence. At first, Marissa's rejection was subtle, polite distance, a strained smile, but it didn't take long for her mask to slip. "Why are you always in my business?" she snapped once when I simply asked about her plans. "She's not my mom," Marissa screamed, storming off while Ron stood helpless, his face heavy with disappointment. From that moment, she stopped hiding her contempt. She rolled her eyes at me, mocked me under her breath, refused my help, and turned even small gestures into battles. "You're not fooling anyone with your fake kindness," she hissed one afternoon when I offered her a ride. And always, behind it all, was Clara, smiling sweetly, yet sharpening the knife. "I don't know what you did to make my daughter hate you," she'd say with mock innocence, "but I suppose you'll just have to live with the consequences." And live with them, I did. But Marissa's cruelty didn't stop at insults. It grew darker. After she dropped out of college with no direction, she started wielding her anger like a weapon. "Give me $5,000, she demanded one afternoon, cornering me in the kitchen, "or I'll tell everyone what a horrible stepmother you've been." I froze. "Marissa, why are you saying this? I've only ever tried to help you." "Save it," she snapped. "Just give me the money." When I hesitated, her threats grew sharper. "Then be ready for everyone to know the real you." It didn't stop there. The blackmail became constant. The more I resisted, the bolder she became. "You think your perfect little job at the school makes you untouchable?" she sneered once. "Wait until they hear about your drinking problem." I felt sick. She was threatening to destroy everything, my career, my reputation, my relationships. Ron, torn between us, tried to beg for peace. "Just give her what she wants," he pleaded one night. "I can't handle this constant fighting." But I knew giving in would only feed the monster Clara had helped create. I had to draw a line. One evening, When Marissa barged in demanding more money, I finally snapped. No, Marissa, enough. She laughed in my face. You really think you matter in this family? You're just a sad, insecure woman trying to buy your way in. Her cruelty stung, but I stood tall. I'm done being your victim, I said firmly. Get out, and don't come back until you can act like a decent person. For a moment, she seemed caught off guard. Then her lips curled into a cold smile. You'll regret this, she whispered before storming out. Ron buried his face in his hands. I'm sorry, Elise, he said brokenly. I don't know what happened to her. But I knew. This wasn't sudden, it was years of Clara's poison taking root. Marissa thought she could ruin me with her lies, but she underestimated me. If she wanted a fight, she'd get one. And I wouldn't play by her rules. Marissa had spun lies about me for years, telling people I was trying to control her family and that Ron was cruel to her. Derek admitted he'd believed her at first because of how convincing and angry she sounded. Only after their breakup did he realize the truth. She had been manipulating him all along. As Derek spoke, I felt my stomach twist. Marissa wasn't just acting out of anger, she was calculating, weaving lies to turn everyone against me. And behind her? Clara, always Clara, pulling the strings, feeding Marissa poison from the beginning. Derek told me your mother's been twisting your thoughts since day one. I thought bitterly, whispering that I was trying to replace her, turning every kind gesture into a threat. Suddenly, it all clicked. I hadn't just been fighting Marissa's resentment, I had been fighting a cruel scheme, crafted to make me the villain. But Derek wasn't finished. His words cut deeper than I expected. Marissa's not marrying Kevin because she loves him, he said flatly. She wants his money and his status. That's all. Once she gets what she wants, she'll toss him aside like she did with me. I felt the air leave my lungs. Deep down, I'd suspected her love was shallow, but hearing it confirmed left me shaken. After Derek left, I sat in silence, my mind racing. For too long I had let Marissa and Clara control the narrative, but now, with the truth in my hands, I couldn't stay quiet anymore. This wedding wouldn't be her victory, it would be the day her lies unraveled. The morning of Marissa's wedding was thick with tension. I watched her preen in front of the mirror while Clara adjusted her veil, her smile syrupy sweet. You look just like a princess, Clara cooed, pride gleaming in her eyes. Marissa beamed, soaking up every word, but the scene made me uneasy. Yes, I said coolly, unable to stop myself. A fairy tale, complete with a prince and a wicked stepmother. Clara's eyes narrowed into daggers. Marissa just laughed, brushing it off. Speaking of wicked stepmothers, she said smoothly, I'm surprised you even came. After how you've treated me, I thought you'd skip it. I let out a dry laugh. Oh, believe me, I considered it, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. Before the tension could thicken, Ron poked his head in with a strained smile. Everything all right? He asked. Perfect, Dad, Marissa replied sweetly, her words dripping with sarcasm. The ceremony began, vows drifting by like empty lines in a play. When Kevin leaned forward to kiss his bride, I knew it was my moment. Wait, my voice rang through the chapel, sharp and unyielding. Gasps echoed as heads turned. Marissa's face flushed crimson, her fists clenching at her sides. What are you doing? She spat. I stood tall, my voice steady. I can't stay silent while you keep lying to everyone. This wedding is built on deceit. Clara paled, sensing the storm, but before she could cut me off, I pulled out Derek's evidence, screenshots, emails, recordings, proof of Marissa's manipulation, proof of her lies. For years you've painted me as the villain, I said firmly, my words carrying through the hushed room, but the truth is here for everyone to see. The silence was deafening. Kevin's family looked horrified. Marissa's confident mask cracked, her voice trembling with fury. You're lying. You ruined everything. No, I shot back. You ruined it yourself. Kevin turned to her, his voice breaking. Is it true? Were you using me? For a moment, her face wavered, then the familiar fake smile spread across her lips. Of course not, darling. Elise just wants to destroy us. But her words rang hollow. Ron's voice suddenly boomed through the chapel, raw with anger. Enough. I've heard enough. His face was pale, his hands trembling. My daughter, lying, manipulating, hurting everyone for her own gain. I don't even recognize you anymore. The room went silent. Marissa opened her mouth but no words came. Even Clara looked shaken. You're not the girl I raised, Ron whispered. His disappointment filled the room heavier than any shout could. For once, Marissa had no comeback. The fallout was swift. Clara stormed out in disgust. Kevin's family followed in shock. And the wedding unraveled before it had even begun. Marissa stood alone, her carefully built empire of lies collapsing in front of her. Days later, I saw her again, broken, begging at Clara's door. Please, Mom, she sobbed. I need you. But Clara turned cold, her voice sharp as glass. You did this to yourself. Don't expect me to clean up your mess. The door shut, leaving Marissa on the porch, abandoned by the very person who had fueled her cruelty. In the weeks that followed, Marissa's reputation disintegrated, friends vanished, whispers trailed her, and every door she once opened with confidence now slammed in her face. Through it all, Ron and I grew stronger. You were right, he said quietly one evening, watching his daughter fade into isolation. She did this to herself. I only squeezed his hand. There was nothing left to say. Marissa had tried to destroy me, but in the end, her lies had destroyed her. And for the first time in years, I felt free.